Class of 2020.
Today we have the unique privilege of standing united with one voice,
with one message,
and with one purpose.
To celebrate and memorialize time.
The timeline of your journey from kindergarten to this historic end to your high school career.
Time is always marked by important memories, key milestones, and momentous occasions.
Those events signify that life as we know it has changed, that something else is coming.
It's a strange place to find yourselves because time allows you to exist briefly in two realms.
On one hand, you mourn what's lost. On the other, you look to the future in anticipation of the next step in the journey.
With each of these occasions, it is inevitable that our sense of familiar shifts.
Our normal becomes old news, our expectations transform, and then time, without regard for how these events have affected us, marches on.
Sometimes with the cadence of a slow, easy walk, sometimes with jarring and abrupt fits and starts, and sometimes with almost overwhelming speed.
Regardless of the pace, though, we can allow these experiences to leave the most indelible impressions and cement themselves in our hearts and minds.
And we do.
This has been true for you, the graduating class of 2020, for all of your lives, because your timelines have already been marked with a series of momentous events, all of which have been history makers.
Most of you were born in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, arguably one of the most significant and challenging events of our history.
And while you were learning to sit up and to crawl and walk and talk, your families and your communities and your leaders all had to face unexpected, unparalleled events and work through the uncertainty and insecurity that they forced upon us.
And they did.
During your kindergarten year, Steve Jobs introduced the world's first smartphone, which ultimately influenced how we communicate, how we teach and learn, and how we work.
As time passed and you moved through grade school, transitioning from one milestone to the next, losing your first tooth, learning to ride a bike, earning your first award or trophy. The evolution of technology impacted us in ways that we couldn't quite fully understand.
Social networking continued to evolve. Communities and businesses began to interact through multiple platforms, and the workforce began to offer work-from-home options.
Eventually, you began using this technology to capture your own milestones and memories on apps such as Instagram and through Twitter and Snapchat. Your friends and families, your communities and your leaders, and even you needed to keep moving.
And you did.
And now, as seniors preparing to exit school, your timelines are marked by yet another momentous occasion, and that will alter all of your lives moving forward. A graduation event occurring in the middle of a pandemic.
You began your senior year as part of the lockstep, steady march towards your traditional month of May senior events.
You had a plan. You had a vision. You were secure in knowing what to expect next.
And then it all unexpectedly stopped, which may have caused you to look at your immediate future with a sense of insecurity and uncertainty.
Some of you may even be asking yourselves, am I prepared? Or will I know what to do next? The answers are simple.
You are and you will.
Because of the earmarks of your historic timelines have been preparing you all along. You are prepared to face down the insecurity that comes with change and not having a set path.
Because you are dreamers and action takers.
And in time, you will open the doors of opportunity when you encounter them.
You are prepared to use times of uncertainty to explore, to make difficult decisions, and to take strategic chances because you are innovators and problem solvers.
And in time, you will help your families, your colleagues, and your communities find a new and productive way forward.
You are prepared to meet unexpected challenges with creative thought and inspirational acts because you are the trailblazers and history makers. And in time, you will design the new technologies and discover the new solutions for all of us.
And now, instead of being able to gather together as a community to recognize and celebrate your accomplishments,
we instead find ourselves simultaneously moving away from the tradition
and facing with anticipation how our new normal will allow us this unprecedented opportunity to highlight not only your accomplishments, but to showcase how prepared you are to move along your timelines towards your next great milestones.
Maya Angelou, poet laureate, said,
All great accomplishments require time.
And as you will see here today, you are well on your way.
In addition to the impressive recognitions evident here, you will also be reminded how many of you have already spent time as civic-minded community contributors.
You will see in the faces of your friends and classmates those who have already begun promising careers as advocates for equality, as spokespeople for those who haven't yet found their voice, and as caregivers for those in need.
And you will see in the faces the people who bring us, those who have walked this path before you, confidence, optimism, and hope for what time will bring next, because you do.
We offer our heartfelt congratulations to the historic class of 2020.
It is definitely your time.
Your time.
Your time.
Your time.
Your time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to start off by thanking my family, friends, teachers, and Kat for helping me become the person I am today. After 4 years of high school, which felt like a breeze compared to the past 3 months, we made it. We thought we were going to cruise through the last quarter of senior year like every other class, but have instead been given a crash course on Life 101. Our class has lifted each other up and built immense character by overcoming each curveball thrown at us. While learning the core values from my college team, my coach mentioned a word that resonates with our class's ability to persevere. The word is emoja, meaning togetherness. Together is how Kat and I have made it through almost every class since freshman year. We have faced the struggles of high school, including procrastinating way too long, any class with Moldenhauer, and resisting the urge to walk out with the seniors taking half days. Together, as the class of 2020, we have been able to better each other and leave a legacy here at Patterson Mill. Every classroom was full of students who had each other's backs, no matter how tough it got. Our talented classmates created masterpieces from our amazing theater productions to the works of art bringing life to our hallways. Our athletes hold extremely impressive accomplishments such as going to playoffs, states, and even bringing home several state titles. We have defined each other by being a part of each other's victories. I hope wherever you go on to next, you find the same camaraderie and success that you found as a part of Husky Nation.
If you would have told me 4 years ago that I would be standing in a room with Lauren and Dr. Abel giving a speech for video chat graduation, I would have laughed. It's not every year you go through a pandemic. However, it also isn't every year that you come across a class like this one. Intelligent, talented, athletic, wild. The words to describe the people watching this right now are truly endless. Whether we were placing blue magnets on every hallway locker, showing out to more away games than any class before, or putting shame to the 4A Bel Air High School student section, the class of 2020 was something else. I'm positive that in the 3 years and 6 months we spent together, we have made more memories than most do in a lifetime. Our class has faced more obstacles than any other class, and yet each time we have gotten through together, still keeping the same lively energy that we had on our first day. Though I'm heartbroken to see it end so abruptly, there is no doubt in my mind that this is the class I would have wanted to be a part of. I sure hope the world is ready for us, because they sure are getting a handful. I would like to thank my amazing family, friends, classmates, teachers, coaches, and lastly, Lauren, for making this journey something so memorable. I pray for everyone's safety and successes always, and cannot wait until we meet again someday. Love you all. Thank you.
I've always had a special connection to the class of 2020 because your first day of school at Patterson Mill Middle High School was my first day of school as the principal of Patterson Mill Middle High School. And I remember you all coming in as barely out of elementary school into 6th grade, and I've got to watch you grow into the amazing young adults that you are today. So I've missed you a lot, and I'm gonna miss you more when you go out into the real world. And the only thing that's really come that's good from this has been these killer sideburns. But that being said, I love you, I'm proud of you, and it's my pleasure to introduce the class of 2020 at Patterson Mill High School. Austin Carl Abner. Grant Nicholas Addington. Shannon Nikita Aiken Geddes. Jay Alston. Madeline Marie Amrine. Justin Blake Anderson. Philip Bailey Arbogast. Amina Noreen Usalam. Atijola Oluwa Olamide Awodeli. Jacob Michael Ide. Isaac James Backham. Clay Francis Barbagallo. Nikki Julian Bales. Lyric Beatty. Allison Renee Bierman. Jason Evan Berg. Jenna Lynn Bishara. Alyssa Cameron Binns. Christopher John Blackwell. Tyler Douglas Bond. Javonzel Lonell Briscoe. Adriana Lucretia Brown. Jack Edward Brown. Catherine Riley Brown. Olivia Marie Butler. Marilyn Sophia Kale. Deyanira Rodriguez Carrero. Wesley J. Carter. Nicholas Alexander Cheney. Eric James Chatton. Allison Page Chenworth. Jaehoon Choi. Corey Russell Kress. Kyle Anthony Crippa. Matthew William Crossan. Michaela Natalie Dahlia. Tyree Maurice Core Darden. Alexander Lewis Decker. Carmen Rebecca DiCarlo. Kathleen Ann DiCarlo. Colby Miles Dixon. Nathan Tyler DiNatale. Brendan Thomas Donnelly. Mackenzie Elizabeth Dow. Sydney Marie Dubas. Elizabeth Carmela Fabiano. Anita Joyce Falco. Liliana Laurel Wheeler Feltz. Brendan Martin Flanagan. Gavin Michael Fletcher. Natalie Jane Foose. Julia Rose Frankus. Jenna May Pritches. Isabella Maria Glorioso. Mason Christopher Goff. Cameron Elizabeth Gravite. Brendan John Gray. Vi Mai Tuong Hai. Matthew Jordan Hadaway. Lindsay Nicole Hall. Emma Lee Hardy. Tavia Lynn Harris. Riley Jean Grace Harbin. Evan Michael Hout. Austin Robert Halls. Colby David Halls. Reese Morgan Hellman. Kyle David Hillhouse. Drew Timothy Hoyles. Casey Margaret Holler. Nikki Alexis Holmes. Sadaya Yvette Shante Holsey. Joseph Alexander Horsky. Mackenzie Lee Horton. Emily Catherine Hudler. Taylor Ann Hyde. Layla Monet Jackson. Marley Peyton Jett. Corbin Zane Jones. Travis Michael Karwatka. Kathleen May Keach. Cordelia Chase Keeley. Abigail Sarah Ketchum. Katea Magnalia Kajak. Reginald Brian King, Jr. Michael Frederick King. Lucas William Kreider. John Anthony Kuhn III. Joanna Kwok. Leslie Kwok. Kirsten Noel Lake. Jillian Nicole Lambert. Sarah Ashley Lambeth. Alexander Ilias Lambros. Nam Kwok Lay. Alyssa Nicole Levitt. Alaire Omar Lewis. Sarah Elizabeth Lingelbach. Alexander George Lessauer. Caitlin Elizabeth Lloyd. Emily Brooke Lone. Tyler Scott Lowy. Katerina Stavrula Lomas. Eva Page Lucky. Katrina Hein Liu. Meredith Kendall Lytle. Grayson Michael Mallon. Brandon Jacob Mangum. Chandler Dean Martin Corker. Michael Daniel Martinez, Jr. James Marlon May III. Aiden James McCulley. Aiden Michael McGinnis. Connor Jameson McGinnis. Ariel Laura Miller. Emma Elizabeth Miller. Paula Hyen Moon. Genesis Fernanda Moreno. Connor Stephen Morton. Ali J. Musavi. Kayla Elizabeth Nantes. Eric Michael Nutzling. Alan Namfu Nguyen. Samuel Harold Norton. Quinn Henry Nowakowski. Connor Stephen Okuda. Alicia Lynn Ocampo. Jasmina Sahar Ol. Molrakat Abby Unarath. Xavier Jordan Peoples. Kishon Julian Payton. Brian Thomas Pickard. Christian Alexander Pross. Raul Richie Puntilla Puga. Mark Douglas Pullen Jr. Jade Autumn Cecilia Ramsey. Jack Henry Randall. James Franklin Record IV. Jacob Conley Reed. Michaela Noel Reed. Savannah Elizabeth Reynolds. Isaac Harrison Rich. Kelsey Diane Richter. Gavin Andrew Riley. Lucas James Rivera. Shimon Adriel Roberts Jr. Molly Bryn Roberts. Nico Lorenz Roberts. Gavin Douglas Robinson. Ashley Nicole Ross. Shane Michael Ross. Jason Eric Russell Jr. Liam Michael Salmon. Gurdeep Sandhu. Marissa Noel Santoro. Samuel Philip Sapp. Stephen Hart Schaefer. Casey Nicole Schlurf. Emily Dawn Seacrest. Zachary Robert Sr. Philip Dimitri Serrell. Brianna Lynn Sexton. Kelly Grace Shaw. Natalie Claire Shrewsbury. Ethan Craig Schultz. Taylor Lynn Schultz. Heather Olivia Zaraki. Mason James Smith. Promise Renee Smith. Mina Bella Snyder. Joshua Randolph Spellin. Naya Ryan Spellin. Mason Keith Sprinkle. Matthew James Stafford. Nicholas Michael Stanley. Larry Rutger Steinkraus. Eden Isabella Stevenson. Gabrielle Leah Alexandria Stevenson. Connor Choi Strybeck. Jennifer Ann Tangiers. Drew Thomas Tenaglia. Lauren Nicole Thomas. Jocelyn Nicole Thompson. Matea Irena Tamich. Alyssa Miriam Tony. Tucker Wyatt Ubersax. Nicholas Grayson Bach. Nathan Paul Bujanik. Edward Anthony Wallace. Mitchell John Walls. Cassidy Ray Ward. Nathan Thomas Weller. Maya Trinity Wheeler. Brandon Jeffrey Will. Sydney Ann Williams. Jonah David Windle. Evelyn Christine Wysong. Carl Joseph Young. Shelby Caitlin Young. Gabriel Nicholas Zazueta. Natalie Avia Zelaya.
To the Patterson Mill High School class of 2020, this is our time. Congratulations. Please turn your tassels.